Hey, I'm Brett Larkin, and welcome to the Yoga Hacks podcast, where we make yoga so much more than just something we do on a mat. We're talking hacky ways to stretch and feel good in our daily lives, using yoga philosophy to solve everyday problems. Ultimately, this is about you wanting to live your best life and feel amazing in your body using yoga and meditation as a tool. It's time to get creative, time to have fun, and remember, you can always be stretching, you can always be centered, you can always feel great in your body. Let's jump in to this week's episode. Hey guys, so this is going to be a quick one, but I wanted to do a quick podcast on what is an advanced yoga practice and kind of how do we define that and how do you choose to define that? Because I want to give you some options for how you can think about that. And if you're in my community and you do my stuff on YouTube and you listen to this podcast and you're in my Facebook group, you probably know that I'm not a huge fan of a lot of what's going on in the yoga community right now, especially on Instagram, which is, just really glorifying people doing crazy, hard, complex, inverted yoga poses on one hand, pretzel type things. And, if you see that and you feel inspired and you like that, that's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with it. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But I think it is important to share. And I want to share that to me, that's not advanced yoga. To me, advanced yoga is a highly personalized practice in which you're modifying every pose to best suit your body and your needs in that moment. And it can vary day to day, moment by moment, what you need. And the advanced practice is being so tuned into that and so connected with yourself that you know what it is you need, right? Like when you need to maybe skip doing chaturangas and when you need to maybe do a yin or restorative class instead, or maybe when you need to kind of kick yourself in the butt and say, no, we're going to power yoga right now. If you're someone who, is always doing the yin and wants to get more of an active practice in. So to me, the advanced practice is a personalized practice. And I don't think this is something that's talked about enough. And depending on when you're listening to this, I did a live chat on YouTube with you all recently, and there were a lot of questions and things that came up about wrist injuries and binding and a lot of things that come up with, these are all issues that come up when you're doing more advanced poses, right? Like we start having wrist issues when we're doing all these crazy arm balances. And not necessarily that's the cause of your wrist issues, but in the context of the live chat, that seemed to be what people were asking about. Same thing with binding and inversions. Just because these things are the next step and are considered advanced poses doesn't mean they are right for you. I think such a more advanced approach would be to say, hey, what's going on in my body? Where are my problem areas? And there's another podcast called How to Judge a Yoga Class, which I highly suggest checking out if you're resonating with any of this, where I talk about how to judge a yoga class through the lens of how your problem area feels at the end of the class. So, if your problem area is low back, or you're really working on your shoulders, or you really need more flexibility in your hips or your hamstrings or whatever it is you're working with, or maybe you're actually nursing an injury, right? It's like, how can you personalize your whole practice to tailor and take care of that area rather than just flowing through any old yoga class, or rather than just going through the progression of what you think are the next harder poses you should be tackling. So what I'm saying here is that the advanced perspective would not be like, oh, I can do crow, let's now do one-legged crow, or, again, I don't even know the names of all the arm balances because I'm not as interested in them as I am interested in some other stuff, like just healing myself and feeling centered and grounded in my own body on a daily basis. Honestly, arm balances are great and they're super, super fun, and they're super fun to play around with. And I mentioned on the live chat, I just don't teach them that much online because I feel like they are best taught in a workshop setting where someone can really spot you and take care of you and give you that hands-on attention. But can you start being your own teacher and having the perspective that this advanced practice is you being so profoundly in touch with yourself that you are modifying every pose and really paying attention to, again, being on your breath more than anything else. To best take care of you and nurture you, because the goal of going to yoga is that you become more centered. One of my favorite teachers ever said that yoga and meditation is about taking out the garbage, right? It's like clearing your mental thoughts, all those voices that are in your head, letting all of that go so that you can then go out into the world fresh. Like the garbage was just taken out. You're just purely you now after yoga. You're your most pure, authentic self. Not the self that was thinking about like the fight they had with their mom last week, or not the self that's bogged down by all these worries, or not the self that's totally distracted thinking about X, Y, or Z, but just your full, most authentic, glowing, present self. And your family members and the people around you that you love, they want you to be that version of yourself. And hopefully you want to be that version of yourself for them, because when you're that version of yourself, everything is easy. People love you. Everything you want is naturally magnetically attracted to you, like magic. It really is just magic. And you're going to feel so much better. So that's the aim of my practice. That's what I think an advanced practice is all about, getting to that state where we feel balanced and good in our own body, and not where we're leaving yoga class being like, whoa, my wrists really hurt because I did way too many chaturangas, or whoa, I think I took it too far in that stretch where I tried to do some crazy thing. Okay, like, yeah, sometimes stuff like that happens. But the overall thought here is that don't think that the linear progression of what the outside yoga world is telling you, or what Instagram is telling you about where you need to go, is the destination, right? This is all about your journey and just doing what feels good to you right now. And that could be different for you at different stages of your life and what you're going through. There may be periods of your life or weeks or days where an active practice is what makes you feel balanced and amazing. And there may be days or weeks where doing a completely yin restorative practice or child's pose and shavasana is all you're practicing, is what you need and is what is helping you feel amazing and show up as your best self in this world. So those are my thoughts for you. I hope it made some sense and that I didn't rant too much. Just know that you know what's best for you. You have the power to really heal your aches and pains and take care of yourself better than anyone else could, honestly. So connect with your body, love your body, always be stretching, always be centered. Thank you so much as always for listening, and I hope to hear your feedback and comments as always. YouTube, podcast, my blog, get in touch, and from my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for listening and joining me all the way to the very end. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. You've downloaded my app full of free yoga classes that also has episodes of this podcast right in the app. Jump over to BaretteLarkin.com, get my free 18 days of awesome yoga jumpstart if you haven't done that already, and start integrating stretching into your day-to-day routine for real at alwaysbestretching.com. Remember, you can tweet to send requests or questions about the show to @LarkinYogaTV. And it would mean so much to me if you shared this podcast with a friend. Since you're here with me till the very, very end, I also wanted to invite you to join my private Facebook group where I talk about hacking yoga and meditation into my daily life and give you ideas on how you can do the same, sharing things that I usually just don't feel comfortable putting on YouTube or my public page. Just go to yogahackscommunity.com, all one word, Yoga Hacks Community, and click Request Access to join. Until next time, remember, always be doing yoga, always be stretching. So many of you have told me that you spend so much time sitting at a desk and you want to get more stretching and yoga into your day. What if I told you you could be stretching an additional 90 minutes a day without changing anything about your day-to-day routine? I designed this course with you, my YouTube audience, in mind. If you're ready to go deeper and take your yoga practice off your mat and into your daily life, I invite you to join me for my Always Be Stretching Yoga Hacks course. you are really going to be able to apply this information into your daily life and into your routine in a way that no other course is really going to enable you to do. With me, you'll tour my home, and in 10 exclusive videos, I'll show you the dozens and dozens of hacks that I use so I'm always stretching, gaining flexibility, and constantly feeling good in my body, regardless of whether or not I make it to a yoga class. I'll ship you my 5 favorite yoga props that support this hacky at-home practice. I also include 6 20-minute stretching routines focused on key problem areas that you guys have told me you have: upper back, low back, shoulders, core, all using the props that I've shipped you. So these classes are deep and different than anything you're going to experience with me on YouTube. And don't forget, this course includes direct access to me through a private Facebook group just for people taking this course. Occasionally we hop on the phone and I answer questions about the props. I tell you about new hacks that I've developed. I just want everyone to stretch their body and feel good all the time.